Good day to you, everybody all over the world. Please always read your Bible. My name is Olufisoye, and today's video is to explain to us the understanding of Genesis chapter 39 and chapter 40. I hope you have read yours. The theme of today's video is endure under trial, like Joseph. The record there begins by Joseph now has been sold to one man in Egypt whose name was Potiphar. When Potiphar noticed how things were going on well for him after he had bought Joseph, then he appointed Joseph over everything in his house. Only him is greater than Joseph. The record also talks about Joseph being handsome in appearance. That is Genesis chapter 39, verse 6. Then, one day, when Potiphar had left for work, Potiphar's wife started admiring Joseph. Gradually, her interest increased every day. She wanted Joseph to lay down with her. Let me read briefly what happened. Genesis chapter 39, verse 11 to 13. But it happened about this time, when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught sight of him by his garments, saying, "Fly with me." For he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. And so it was, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that he called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, "See, he has brought into us an Hebrew to mock us. He came in to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice." I read verse 14 too. That is the trouble that happened to Joseph. When the husband of this woman came around, the same thing was reported to him. Then Joseph was being thrown in the prison. Don't forget, the theme of today's video is endure under trial. When Joseph gets to the prison, the keeper of the prison sees the attitude of Joseph every day. Then he committed everything in the prison in the hand of Joseph, even though he was still a prisoner. Later, two people were also confined in the same prison where Joseph was. They were the chief butler of Pharaoh and the chief baker of Pharaoh. When these two were under the guard of Joseph, something happened one day. Joseph went in the morning to check on them, and he saw them. They were sad. Joseph asked them, "What happened? What has happened to you overnight?" They explained to him that they had dreams, and they don't understand the meaning of their dreams, and they were afraid what the dream can mean for them. Both narrated their dreams to Joseph, and Joseph explained the meaning of their dream. You can read of their dreams at Genesis chapter 40, verse 9 to 18. Joseph explained the meaning of their dreams to them. He said to the butler, 3 days, just the way you find out that the juice of the grapes which you gather in that vine, you put in Pharaoh's cup and you put in his hand, then Pharaoh will restore you back to your position. The second one, the baker, Joseph explained to him, just the way you have that food on your head, and it was birds of heaven that eat them up. Pharaoh we have you hanged. And when you hang, that is where birds of heaven will eat up your flesh. He told them, in 3 days' time, exactly 3 days, it happened. Just the way Joseph had gave them the interpretation to their dreams. Now, don't forget the theme of today's video is endure under trial. Each one of us today will have one issues or the other we are facing. It may be economic hardship, it may be health, and the rest. Whatever circumstances we are facing, we have to know that God sees our endurance. God sees steps we are taking. God sees our pains also. But if we take our side with God, just the way Joseph did, he resisted from sin, then God keep being with him wherever he may be. Even when he was in prison, God is still with him. So be with us. The trial and tribulation we're facing will not be so severe that we will not be able to cope. And during this time we're coping, we should try and learn what endurance is about to accomplish in our life. Then at the end of it, when God actually delivers us, we will be like the record that's in the Bible book of James chapter 1 verse 4, which says, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Now let me read from verse 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And that translation said endurance. Let me read another translation. James chapter 1 verse 2 and 3. Consider it all joy, my brothers, when you meet with various trials, knowing as you do that this tested quality of your faith works out endurance. But let endurance have its work complete, that you may be complete and sound in all respects, not lacking anything. So every time if you stand by God like Joseph, you will see sign that God is still with you. You will not be tested beyond what you can bear. And at the same time, as you endure, you will learn something you actually need. And that endurance will perfect who you are. This is how I end today's video.